loves, welcome back for another video, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to be testing out the new Milk Makeup Flex Foundation, I think it's called. Yes, the Flex Foundation Stick. They come in these cute, like minimal little boxes. You can barely see the branding, but there it is, Milk Makeup. And I have two shades that I was sent via Influencer. I've talked about Influencer on my channel before. This is not sponsored by them, but I do occasionally get sent product to review through them, and it's a pretty cool setup. So if you guys are interested, I'll have them linked down below. Moving on. I have two different shades of this foundation here. This one is in Fair and this one is in Shell. So as you can see, I'm a pretty pale gal, but I do think Shell is going to be the best bet to try out with you guys today, because Fair, as you can probably see, is a pretty like pinky shade, which my skin is super pinky, but it's also a little light for me. I swatched it on my hand and I really felt like this was kind of closest to the foundation that I've been using lately. So this is Shell right here. And I'm very intrigued by this product. I've never tried out a stick foundation before, so this is gonna be an adventure that we will go on together. And fingers crossed, I end up looking normal by the end of the day. We'll see how it goes. So just so I would feel a little more prepared, I did watch a couple of different like videos and look at some articles and things. It seems like most people just go ahead and directly put the product on their face. So let's hope it matches, but I guess if it's too dark, I can always blend in a little bit of the Fair to lighten things up a bit. So I'll be honest, this is my first time using one of these. So I'm hoping I'm not putting too much on, but I just I hope you guys can see, like put some all around my face, and I'm gonna use this Real Technique sponge right here to try to start to blend it all in. So this should be interesting. This foundation is really supposed to give a medium coverage, and I'm usually more of a full coverage girl, but I did want to try it out and kind of see, you know, how I felt about it. It is definitely blending pretty easily, which is a plus, because some foundations, especially when they're heavier, are just an adventure to get to kind of work with your skin, but I feel like this is blending in pretty easily. Here is kind of like my first layer, I guess, if you will, on my skin. I can see in the viewfinder that I look pretty even, but in the mirror, I still can see some of the like redness and things that I like to kind of tone down with my skin. And the thing that's nice, at least it seems, about a product like this is it's very buildable, so you can kind of go back in with those like problem areas and build the coverage up a little more. And I'm also this time going to blend a little down my neck, because I didn't do that the first time, and that seems, you know, like something you'd want to do. So that you look put together. I'm also adding a little bit more to my nose and just the center of my forehead. That's all kind of where most of my redness likes to hang out. So we'll go ahead and blend this in and see how we feel. Just finished with that second layer, and then also went and took a look in the bathroom mirror, because I feel like that one never lies. Like the lighting in there is just very bright. So, and I honestly feel like this is a pretty good look and a pretty good match for me shade-wise. It's definitely like a lighter coverage foundation than I usually use, but I don't think it looks bad or like too cakey or anything. Granted, this is just now applied, so we'll see how it goes throughout the day, but I do feel pretty good about it so far. So that's a plus. Just looking at it now though, I did notice, especially in the bathroom mirror, that for some reason this cheek seemed to be redder than the other one. And I also needed a little bit more, just like right around here. So I think my one kind of like gripe so far is it's like not the easiest thing in the world to blend. Like it moves around very easily, but I feel like, and maybe using a sponge isn't the best way to do this. This is just kind of how I saw a lot of people on YouTube applying it. So I figured I'd kind of give it a try that way. But yeah, I mean, it does blend in right away, but I do feel like it's kind of maybe almost too easy to like move it around away from where you want it. So that's just kind of a first impression, and it might just be because, you know, I'm not used to using this kind of foundation, so it's definitely a different experience. Now that I do kind of have it blended down my neck, I do feel like this is a little bit dark. It's so hard to tell like in the tube, which I guess is really true with any foundation, but yeah, it's not like super dark, but I can definitely see kind of where it ends on my neck. I'm hoping no one at work notices that today. We'll roll with it. I'm gonna go ahead now and just like add some concealer and setting powder and the rest of my face of makeup, and then we'll chat a little bit. We are back with the rest of the face finished, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick debrief on where I'm at with the foundation so far. So I do think that, you know, it looks pretty good on the skin. It definitely has a little bit more of a dewy finish, which makes me nervous because I have oily skin, and I did forget to mention, but I started off with the Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray first on my face, and then the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. So that's kind of like my base layer to hopefully keep everything locked in place. And I'll also go ahead and put this setting spray on again to finish things off. Okay, back to the foundation. So I do think that this was kind of like wonderfully easy to apply to my face. I liked that it wasn't messy because I could kind of just directly, you know, stick it right on, and it's so easy to kind of roll it up and back down. The packaging is very sleek. There's a lot of things that I like about this so far. So I'm really hoping that it kind of works well with my skin. I'm having a hard time judging whether this is a good shade for me or not. It's just very like yellow, but if I show it to you next to the lighter shade, like they're very extremely different tones, right? And so usually I try to use a foundation that's a little bit more of a yellow undertone than a pink, because I just find that that works better. It kind of helps to cancel out some of the redness, which is really why I like to wear a foundation, since my skin is pretty solid otherwise. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to see how this like kind of sets into my skin throughout the day and hopefully stays on my skin throughout the day. I feel like it's looking so much better on camera than I see it in real life, but maybe that's just me being critical. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I will definitely keep you guys posted. I need to head off to work now, but I'll do my best to get some clips throughout the day, and I'll definitely sit down with you guys tonight and talk to you about, you know, how everything is holding up and what my final thoughts are. Hi friends, I just got home from work and this is what we're working with. It's honestly not the worst, but also not the best. Granted, this is my very first time using this foundation, so maybe I needed to use more or a little less, but I'm sure you can kind of see that there are areas of my face that are more red than others. There's not much left on my nose, and overall I'm quite on the shiny side, which doesn't usually happen for me. I do use a foundation normally that's specifically for oily skin, so I feel like my standards are pretty high, but this is just after a day of work. It's like around 7 p.m. now, and when I was putting the foundation on this morning, it was probably around 8 a.m. or so. So this is actually less than 12 hours, and it's a lot. I'm very shiny, and I feel like I can just see, especially more so on the camera than I could in the mirror. Like it's just kind of separating in different areas of my face, and just not the cutest look. So I do definitely want to, you know, keep trying this foundation out, try different ways of applying it, and see how I feel before I give you guys my like true final thoughts. But as far as my first impression goes, I feel like this just isn't for me. It's just not really kind of holding up the way that I need it to, because a lot of times when I do my makeup, I'm going to be out for a long time, and I don't necessarily want to have to carry, you know, like blotting papers and powder to retouch up with. And even with this one, I feel like I need a concealer too to like fix the areas, you know, where things are kind of sliding around and coming off. So anyway, I wanted to like this foundation. I think it's a really cool concept to have it in that stick form and be able to just kind of like put it right on your face, because normally I use a liquid foundation, which just can be kind of messy sometimes. I liked the concept of a stick foundation, but I found this one in particular just really wasn't the best fit. So that's my first impression. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and go ahead and hit the subscribe button right down below. If you are new here, I'd love to have you stick around and join the Curly Hair Love fam. I do beauty videos and reviews like this, but I also do a lot of like lifestyle and advice content. So I would love to just kind of share all that with you guys. I love you all so, so much, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.
Turn that shit up.